Hey guys, Alex Rockwell here. Today I thought I'd give you a little lesson on one of my 12 etudes. We'll look at the first one in the set. It's called Eugene. I composed this in a pretty short span of time. I don't remember exactly how long, maybe a few afternoons. But as I was working on it, my goals were to make it easy to play without being insultingly easy. I wanted to challenge you on some level while keeping it perfectly attainable. I also wanted it to do some interesting stuff musically without being clever just for the sake of being clever. And I feel that I achieved both of those goals. So it starts with this little two-note ostinato on C and E. Just first fret and open E. I play it with my I and M fingers. This pattern goes on pretty much throughout. The notes themselves change here and there, and the pattern gets varied towards the end of the B section, but it's the glue that holds the whole piece together. So there's 2 bars of this, crescendo through it, and then this bass melody enters. So on its own, very nice. So how did I come up with that? We're in the key of C, so for the first melody entrance, I wanted to simply outline a C major chord. I'll count through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's this 4-1 thing happening. The notes on beat 4 are upper neighbor tones that resolve down into the chord tones on the strong beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you take out the notes that aren't part of the chord, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then the phrase ends on an F while the C and E are still going above it, so that implies F major 7, which is the 4 chord. And all that happens twice. So it basically just sets the stage, right? And after that, we get some more harmonic motion. All right, so without all of the arpeggiation, it's F major 7, C over E, F major 7, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, G 6, I guess. That'd be G fully diminished. Call it B flat minor, and then E7, E flat 7. So all of this is against the open E, and it's not necessarily part of all the chords underneath it in a meaningful way. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it clashes, which is on purpose because this section is all transitional. I mean, the way I think of it is just 4, 1, 4, passing diminished chord to get to the 5 chord, a fully diminished chord, which I sort of use it as like a common tone change to get to this. And right there, it eventually reaches what I conceive as a B flat minor chord, and then an arpeggio of E flat 7, and we hold. Then it goes here. So this is a bit of my compositional cleverness. That was the opening material in a new key. The B flat minor to E flat 7 right before this is setting up a key change to A flat major. B flat minor is 2, E flat 7 is 5. So we get a 2, 5, 1 into the new key. A flat major is pretty far away from C major. The two keys don't really have anything in common. I like to use distant key changes in my music. I think they can sound really beautiful, but it can also be tricky to pull them off and make them sound fluid and convincing. I think I pulled it off here, but why did I choose A flat specifically? Well, this part it outlines an A flat major chord just like the beginning outlined C major, and so on. The ostinato on top is alternating between the notes C and E flat, which are the 3rd and 5th of an A flat major chord. In the opening part in the key of C, it was the notes C and E, which are the root and 3rd of a C major chord. So I've switched what part of the chord is playing the ostinato, which creates a slight color contrast, but it's also C and E at the start, and then C and E flat after the key changes. So it's almost the same, but not quite. To me, it feels like the thread that ties the two sections together. The next part is a long transitional section that is ultimately going to take us back to the key of C. There's a textural change too. The ostinato that we've been hearing this whole time sort of gains its own voice and comes to the foreground. It's peppered with these accented notes on the first string, and I play those with a rest stroke with my A finger. It starts in A flat there, but it quickly starts to shift away. I'll try to talk through it. Becomes A flat minor, then B augmented, which resolves to a B major. B major goes to E minor, then C major. Is that right? Yeah, they're kind of A minor. The harmonic rhythm starts to speed up. That means the chords change faster. And then here I kind of think of it as stepping through either F major or D minor. It's kind of the same. And then there's this big arpeggiated G7, which takes us back to C. I'll do that all again so you can kind of hear it in context. So it goes back to the opening stuff here, and then we just get a sort of abbreviated version of it. And that's the end. So at the end of the melody, instead of going to F like it did before, it just resolves to back to C. And then there's this little trail off up top. It's D sliding to E, and then G sliding up to B. So it hangs on the major seventh. I felt like it needed a mildly ambiguous ending. So that's it. I hope you found that helpful or interesting in some way. If you want to learn how to play it off the page, it's the first etude in this book of mine, 12 Etudes for solo guitar. It has standard notation in tab, as well as all my fingerings. Highly detailed. I'll put a link somewhere. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, as always, and I'll see you in the next one.